for now. Maybe I'll move it to 8. Maybe I'll move it back to 9. You just never know. 8:30, kind of in the middle. We'll see where people join in. If they join in, maybe they join in. Maybe they don't join in. We'll see. Play with a few watches until people do so. Mr. Calico is here. You'll be happy to see this. Finally opened it up. Bean Boy's here. Mr. Canadian Watch Monkey. Kentucky Greg, Anonymous Watch Guy's here. Joe Sylvia. Mr. Jeffrey's here. Joshua Carter. Tennessee Mike's chiming in. Very interesting watch. Mr. Zelos, aka the Celine Driver, #1 troll killer's here. Bunch of people are chiming in. Luke's here. David's here. Darren's here. We're going to talk about something a little different tonight, I think. I mean, we're still going to talk watches, of course. I think, but we're going to talk about a different approach, potentially, to the watch game. So, Eric E's chiming in from Michigan. Mr. Jables. Luke is wearing his F39, which is this guy. Probably, I don't know if he wears it on the bracelet or if he wears it on the strap. Not 100% sure on that. Let's see. Stuart's here. Nick V's here. Paulo's here from Portugal. Man, it was a bummer to see the Portugal soccer team, football team, whatever you want to call it, kind of lose that match. I was really rooting for him, but Matthew's checking in wearing his Aquaterra. Ronald's here. Mr. Zelos, aka Celine Driver, is wearing newly arrived today Signum with the orange lume dial. Oh, hold on a second. I'll go grab mine. Since you're wearing one, I'm going to go grab one. It'll fit into what we're going to talk about. So this is what Celine Driver's wearing. He's wearing one of these. So Ken Spear wearing the Oyster Perpetual today. Canadian Watch Monkey says, took delivery of his Longines. I always mess up that word. That came from the Discord group. Awesome. CV Watch Shark says, hey Rob, Spokane checking in. Kevin's wearing his SARB 017. I do not have an Alpinist here. Luke says he wears the F39 on the bracelet and he wears it on strap. So Dane says the bracelet was a horror show. I don't remember it being. What was different? Oh, it's just, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm just used to sizing bracelets. I don't remember having a problem with it. So sorry you struggled with it. Yeah, Todd. Little Galaga game. I think I picked this up at like Cracker Barrel or something. I don't even remember. Yeah, it still works, I think. I haven't turned it on since last year. Oh, I think the battery's dying. Yep, battery's dying. I'll have to get those out of there so they don't corrode up on me, but whatever. Chris is here wearing his Omega Seamaster. I poured a drink and I think I poured it a little strong. I'll warm up to it though. Yeah, so we have the Fortis. You guys watched the live stream already, probably. I have a bunch of Fortis in. Of course, I put this out because Dane's wearing his Signum. This guy here just showed up, and it is a. Shoot, I already forgot how to pronounce it. The hands are in the way. The Selten, Selten. Very interesting dial and orientation of the hands and everything. That circle lines up with those two, kind of like a moon phase. And I think these are pretty affordable too. So that was a fun one that just showed up. Also got in some new Havaston straps, which this colorway right here, this thing's super comfortable. This colorway of strap, I know a lot of people were interested back in the day when I had a Halveston strap that people were trying to get that color. Well, they got a new one out now, and this thing is a really good colorway, and it's a very high quality strap. So check out Halveston for that. They have this new Halveston strap here as well, and it's kind of like the Moonwatch style one where it like loops through and Velcros back, you know. So I'll play around with that. Got another set of playing cards. I'm going to end up giving these away because I already have a set of them. So those are really fun. They have a bunch of watch dials on them. This material here is, the backing on it is like some sort of suede feeling material. I don't know if it's synthetic leather, but this top side here would be like, what is it, Cordova or something? I don't know. Something like that. And then it has that pin going through here, and then these are all trimmed out as well. It's a nice strap, and it does taper too. It flares down from the 20 down to the 18. So I'm not sure the price point on those, but that's a nice strap. Great colorway on that one. Chris, I have not. I emailed or messaged Woolbrook, but I have not heard back from them. Yeah, it's not sailcloth though. It's like a ballistic nylon type material. It's not sailcloth. Let's see. I got quite a few of these. Let's see. SPG says you just received the new Timex 41 millimeter. Was about $50 on Amazon. That's pretty cool. I have the Artem strap coming in for Christmas. Cordura. Thank you, David. That's what it is. I typically don't gravitate towards those as well. So Luke says, I also have got some Halveston straps in today and was pretty disappointed. The canvas NATOs don't come with metal keepers anymore and ended up with fabric keepers. See, everyone's going to have their different thoughts on that. I personally would rather have the fabric keepers. I'm not big on metal keepers, but you know, the purist and the people that just like the metal keepers are going to want the metal keepers, and then the people that want the fabric ones are going to want the fabric ones. So we got a couple of Fortis divers. I don't want to get drowned out with the Fortis stuff, because the main thing I want to talk about is looking. So I labeled this one the hunt, right? Well, sometimes you don't even know what you're hunting for. You just want to hunt for a watch or a watch product, right? I have the most fun going after watches that maybe are like deep tracks. I don't know what else to call it, but where others aren't looking. So we use the terminology hunt, right? So hunting, like if you're going to hunt a wild game and you go into the forest and all the hunters are going after the same thing, rather than competing with them, why don't you, take a left turn or right turn, go a different way, and go hunt something else. That's always what I'm trying to stride towards, I think, is finding something different that is also good, because different isn't always good. Different can be bad, but sometimes you strike up something really cool. Maybe this is one, right? This 960 company. I don't know anything about them. My buddy Calico sent this over for me to check out. I think it's a great looking watch. My first impression. Maybe this is a deep track. Maybe this is something that not a lot of people are looking at, and it might resonate with you. It's got a lot of cool, fun, interesting things going on, and I'm going to cover that when I do the video on it. Maybe a Nozumi is, like in some of these brands, they are going to be like normal brands. Like they're going to sound familiar, but you just never really gravitated toward them. You never hunt them. But maybe now's the time to do it. I've been hearing and reading more and more comments about like um, watch drops or whatever product, right? Actually, I just bought a knife today, the Microtech Desert Warrior one, and those sold out like instantly on Blade HQ. I got lucky. I was one of the ones that was able to get my order through, I think. So and the same thing happens with watches. So where people will have those drops, and I think isn't there a Zelos dropping tomorrow? So I think it's tomorrow, or it was today or tomorrow or something like that. And there's gonna be a bunch of people that do not get that watch. They're straight up not gonna get that watch. So those people are gonna run through whatever emotions they might have. They might be disappointed. They might be like, well, whatever, it wasn't meant to be. But maybe rather, I mean, still try if that's what you really want. Still try. Go ahead. But if you don't lock one in, then maybe just move on to something else. Yeah, David brings up the Helios. I mean, there's so many products out there, but we're focused on watches. There's so many watches out there that are going to fall into that category. So, yeah, Tennessee Mike, 100%. There's always another watch, but don't. I mean, you can sure you could just go buy something that's easy to buy, but maybe Luke says don't get into knives. I'm not into knives. I'm not a knife guy. I just had this conversation with another buddy of mine. Um, I've acquired knives mostly through gifts, and hey, Design's here. Thanks for joining us, Jason from Design. So I'm not a knife guy, but I do enjoy knives. Most of the knives I have were gifts, but I occasionally buy some. The Desert Warrior Microtech is a it's like a you're not going to lose any money on it. So like I could buy it, try it, and if I don't like it, I'm sure I could get my money back out of it. But I really like out the front autos. So they're just so dang convenient. But even that, you want to talk about knives? This was a gift, granted, but this James brand little razor, this thing has been perfect for opening boxes here at the channel because one, I can just replace the razor easily, so I'm not inconvenienced with having to resharpen my knives. Um, I used to like sharpening knives. Now I don't really care when the knife dulls out. I pretty much just throw it in a drawer and move to the next one. And then at some point, I'm going to have to sharpen them all. But this thing right here makes it really easy. So, again, thinking either outside the box or hunting for something different that is going to be unique but also useful. Scurfa. Scurfa has been a great, now it's quartz. Now they do have automatics, but most of them are quartz. They're super affordable, super cool watches. This one's in titanium. I'm 100% going to pick one of these up. This is on loan right now for me to just check out and video, but I'm gonna go on the hunt for one of these. But I want the titanium, and I want the bracelet. I'm a huge fan of titanium watches, so I'm always on the hunt, kind of for titanium watches. That's just my own personal little, um, you know, drop down. Like if you yeah, if you have like certain boxes you like checked for whatever you're looking for in a watch, titanium is definitely one of those ones that I will perk up a little bit. The Signum's titanium, my Zeal or I almost said Zelos, my Zodiac that I'm wearing today is titanium. Actually, my titanium Zelos I actually just sent over to um, Celine Driver. Um, I'm finding myself really liking bronze watches. Well, I just got this bronze Hamilton manual wind in for a video, and it's 38 millimeter. Typically, I won't wear a 38 millimeter, but this thing on wrist, it works. I really like it. And also, loophole. Yeah, Scurfa is going to restock here soon. Maybe this also gets a nod because, as weird as it is, considered an oddity that Hamilton used a titanium tang and buckle here with a bronze watch. A lot of people are griping about that. Me, I kind of like it. It's got a titanium case back. It has a titanium tang and buckle. It has a leather or high quality leather NATO, and it is a bronze mechanical wound watch. 38 millimeter, a little weird, but it works. It really works for me. I think that it's on the NATO, and again, as weird as it is, because I don't really care for NATOs, this just works. I'm digging it. I don't know that I'm going to buy one, but I like it. So there's that guy. Kleenex. Oh yeah, Chris changed. Chris from the used to be the Watch Lounge changed his username now. So pay attention to that. Another one, again, affordable, citizen, automatic. What are these called? Are they called? They still call these the Fugus? I don't think they call them the Fugus. I don't know what they call them exactly. But the NY series, I like this one. It's a little bit larger, but you can go with the older ones, and they're going to fit like the smaller wristed guys, or the people that just prefer the smaller watches. But these Citizen, man, that's a killer pop on that crown too. Full loom, yeah, full loom on this guy. Think full loom on the 960 or whatever that's called too. Yeah, and then between all of us, if we share the knowledge, like even people, there's 141 people in the chat right now, right? Even if you guys were to drop brands that you've discovered, hopefully, if you're gonna like try to promote it, that you have hands on, like you owned one and you were pleasantly surprised with it. Kind of like I was with the Oleg and Waz. That's one that I would have never bought. I would have never checked out. But Russell Jewelers was like, "Hey, I want you to check this one out." He sent it to me, and I was like, "This thing's awesome. I want it." So if there's brands out there, you have to like share that information, you know what I mean? And then of course there's the iconic brands that are already out there, but yeah, David the Nevada Gretchen. Let's see. What did Todd say? Todd sent $5 hairs. Speaking of the hunt, Oris Aqua's Caliber 400 or Breitling Super Ocean, I'm torn between them. Um, I mean, I have two. You're talking the new Super Ocean, I'm assuming. I mean, I have the older Super Ocean. I really like these. You know, I have the white and the orange, obviously. I don't own an Oris Aquas 400. I do own that limited edition, with the whale shark one with the GMT. I still have that one. So, but if you're looking to buy new and you're looking to buy, oh, you're looking for the older orange one. Yeah, I would. I'm biased, man. I would get this one hands down over the Oris 400. I like the Oris 400, but come on, this thing is like killer. Mine personally is a little beat up, but I got a good deal on it. I actually bought it from Chris from Luxury Bazaar. I need to put a new clasp on this one. This one doesn't really lock down very good. Like it'll release really easy. So, and I don't think there's any way to really fix that because the way it locks in there's no way to really adjust it. I think it's just worn. So I'm gonna order a new clasp for that. I need to actually reach out to Richard at Saltzman's and see if I can get one ordered. Is the Super Ocean's bezel blue or black? This one's black, and then on the white one it's blue. On these older ones, and it's a DLC coating. The previous generation actually had some like vulcanized rubber in it, but these are DLC inside there. Let's see. Yeah, you guys are talking about the Avenger Night Mission. That was a pretty cool. Just curious, is there a watch that everybody loves but you don't care for? CFZ is asking. That's a good question. I'm sure there is. I can't think of one off the top of my head. So he asked if there was a watch that everybody loved that I just don't care for. Maybe well, I mean, what do you mean by don't care for? Like, I can still appreciate a watch without gravitating toward it, like with a sense of like wanting to own it. Um, Canadian Watch Monkey says he does not like the PRX. The PRX is nice. Let me go grab another watch. I want to show you this too. Hold on a second. I got piles and piles of stuff. It's not over there. It's over here. This is why I almost need to. I almost doubted myself today. I was like, I should sell a bunch of these watches, but I'm like, no, this is exactly why I need to keep them. So, personally, for me, between these two, say it's apples to apples, and you have the automatic PRX, I'm picking the Dorenzo every day over the PRX. I get it. I understand why people like the PRX, but the Dorenzo, in my opinion, just better. I just like it more. But again, that's personal preference. So both great watches. I gravitate towards the Dorenzo, which I haven't worn in a while. Yeah, you guys are going to encourage me to do that. I mean, it also makes sense for me to do a watch library just because I have a YouTube channel about watches. So, I mean, why not? Because of that right there, where somebody says, okay, can you compare this and you can compare that? Be like, yeah, hold on a second. I have them both. You know what I mean? I can just boom, boom, I can show them. But obviously, I can't own every watch, but I can own a lot of watches. Let's see. Mr. Tube says, are you familiar with Eddie's Dive brand watch? I have not heard of that one. The MM300 is a watch I love the look, but I don't like on wrist. I'm kind of with you on that, Brock. I can warm up to it on wrist, but the new Scurfa, as in the top side. I think you're talking about the top side. This is the new top side one. They have a few different colors. It's quartz, or do you mean the Treasure Seeker, which is a very similar case, but without the dive bezel? Yeah, I changed. I'm doing the live. I get too tired with the time change and everything like that, so I started doing the live stream at 8:30. I think Calico was asking about. I have a. I think in the states it's actually called an SLA something, but this is the SBDX 049er. Jeff McMahon sent this in. It's the really dark gray, but it has a shimmer to it dial. I need to clean it up a little bit, but it's got the 8L35. No, SPG. I went to 8:30, just going from 9 to 10 with everything I got going on, and everything was just being too late. So, yeah, good looking watch. 8L35 movement. Just everything's a little more premium on it over a regular Willard, which I still have a regular Willard, but I'm not going to take it out of the box right now. Kevin says it's the SLA 051. Yeah. Well, I say I get tired, but what happens is you guys gotta understand, like after this live stream, there's a bunch of other things I have to do. So it's it's 10 o'clock, and then before I go to bed, it's like midnight, and I get up at like, early. So I don't know. It can only do short sleep cycles for so long. Chris, is it worth the premium over the regular Willard? Um, when buying them used, yes. Like for example, this one used is probably going to sell for about 1450, which a new standard Willard is 1300, something like that. Now you can get a used Willard for just under 1,000, but when this guy is 1450, yeah, spring the extra $500. Why would you not? $300 to $500 and get one of them. So, you guys are saying you don't like the date, but you realize it balanced out the dial. Sure, it has the date in an odd spot, but to meet the ISO certification, they have all of the full loomed indices. So, um, yeah, it actually works really good. CFZ, I am starting to agree with you on that overall. CFC's commented, I probably alone on this, but I can't think of one watch that's better with a date versus no date. I personally, I kind of agree with you. I'm good with no date. A lot of the watches that I personally buy, I'll buy them with no date. All of these uh, Zodiac Pros are no dates. My Olicon Waz has a date. My Breitlinks have a date. But, the Jeannot, when I picked up the Jeannot, that's a no date. And the Air King obviously is a no date. Yeah, Calico, the Borealis Random Rob Edition is a no date. Did I do no date? I think I did no date on the new one that's coming out too. I'm calling it the Harlequin. I'm trying to think. My Helson is a no date. Yeah, I have quite a few no date watches. Now, but depending, sometimes it makes sense to go date. So like on this Dorenzo, I think you can get this no date if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you can't. I can't remember. But this one makes sense to me to go date because of the design aspect of the lollipop on the second hand will eclipse the date circle. So this some in some cases it works because it's better. Ah, Tennessee Mike, good point. Pointer date. So if you go with a pointer date watch, then you don't even really have a date window. So I think that's the main thing that people want to do is not upset the balance of the dial. Well, if you have a pointer date, you're just adding another hand. You're not upsetting the balance of the dial. I'm trying to think of what else I have that's no date. I do have to say, guys, if and when I buy a Fortis, I have decided clearly that I will be getting the F39, not the F41. I wore them around the house and I gravitated way stronger towards the F39. The weight, the balance on wrist, everything like that. I know the F41 works on my wrist, but the F39 is going to be better for me personally. Let's see here. Put the date at 6. Let's see. The bracelet on the F39 blends perfect. Yeah, on wrist, certainly it wears really good. I still personally think this watch looks better on a leather strap. Just the way the lugs, the way it accents them and everything like that. But this bracelet is top notch. Any ideas when the Random Rob 4-color Borealis drops? Well, you mean like when does it ship? I think spring. I think springtime. Ah, Mr. Peters here. Sorry, I missed your comment earlier. I'm dying to know what that white on the far left is. It looks like it has an interesting dial. So this is the Fortis Marine Master. Tennessee Mike says that Random Rob Harlequin comes out in April, spring. Yeah. Oh, Dane, don't don't start, Dane. Yeah, you just gotta wait. You don't have a choice. So yeah, it's kind of like an off-white, silvery cream color almost. Yeah. Well, they sent me like I don't even know what they sent me, like 8 watches or something ridiculous. No 44 millimeter Marine Masters, which I think would be the one that I would end up going with. But I don't think I would buy a diver from Fortis. I'm definitely, more towards the Flieger style ones, but I could see, I mean, same bracelet too, except for it's, integrated into the case a little bit here. Actually, it's not. It's just the way they did the bar. So I'm assuming you could still get a strap in there as well. Let's see. That's funny. I don't trust many Aussies either. What are you saying, Luke? You can get a Barton 21 millimeter strap in there. It'll work. Remove the stupid quick release spring bars. Okay. Oh man, I got a bunch of watches beep. I got so many digital watches in here right now that when it comes up on the hour, for some reason they're all set to like beep. I don't know if people did that to me intentionally because I say it in video, but like every time the hour changes now, it's like there's a bunch of beeping going on behind me. It's pretty funny. Alrighty, what else do we have? Oh, check these out. Detroit Mint. These are called Speedy Chronomasters. They're the Seiko VK Mecha Quartz movement in them. A few different colorways, but this one obviously looks like the more iconic Pogue colorway with the gold and the Pepsi. But there's, the gold one, there's the silver one, there's a black one with like a Coke bezel, and then there's a blue dial one with a Pepsi bezel. So, and they're all like $265 or something. They're crazy affordable. I just did the unboxing video on them, but if you're interested in picking one of these up, it's called Detroit Mint. If I can zoom in on the dial, yeah, you can kind of see it there on the dial. It says Detroit Mint and it says Speedy. So if you just go ahead and search up Detroit Mint watch, and then you'll be able to find it. They have a bunch of different watches. They're all homage watches and everything. It looks like it has a decent H-link bracelet on it. I haven't tore into these yet. It's got arrows, so it's probably split pin. No big deal there. But pretty good looking watch nonetheless. Thanks for stopping by, Luke. Shout out to, let's see, John saying, shout out to AWG's channel. SPG says there's also a Detroit watch company. Yeah, so there's actually a few Detroit area watch companies. There's Pelton, there's Detroit Mint, there's Detroit Watch Company. I think there might even be a couple more. Obviously Shinola, but that's, controversial. They are assembled there, most of them, but they're not really made there. Of course, none of these are really either. They're all kind of assembled there. They don't really make the components. Pelton actually does, though. I actually visited his shop. Small, and again, that's kind of like Deep Track. I don't have one here, but if you go search up Pelton watches, like he showed me like him actually milling out a case and all the individual pieces for a bracelet. He makes all of the stuff with USA stainless steel. The only thing he sources out are like, the movement. He buys like elaborate grade movements and he puts those in. He was even working on making his own hands and dials and stuff. So sapphire crystals you still had to buy elsewhere. Hey, Peter, thanks for joining. I'll catch you on the flip. I still need to call you, Peter, and I will. I know I texted you about that, but so that's a pretty cool one too. Check out that I think it's Pelton, Pelton, Pelton Watch Company out of Southeast Michigan. Mescal, yes, I did sell the titanium grade 5 petroleum dial. Yeah. And I obsessed about that watch too. I think about it often. It could potentially be a rebuy down the road, the Longines Big Eye in the titanium. I would really like to see them do, I'm going to go ahead and call this. I think they will do it. Dane, it is on there. You got to scroll way down. It's way down it's like the last watch listed on the website. If you can't find it, I'll send you a link after the show. I should have my own watch brand. No, thank you. I've collaborated now with Borealis twice. The one watch is already out, and the next one is actually going to be on this chassis platform. It's going to be on the Seastorm platform, but it's going to be in a quad colorway, and it's not going to be a GMT, and it has aluminum bezel insert. So totally different design. I definitely have like design ideas, but I've learned really quickly that it is difficult to work with some brands versus not other brands. Tim, I wondered because, so I forget his name. Shoot, the owner of Pelton, I forget his name. It'll come to me later, but his bread and butter was custom made microphones for like very detailed, specific studio work sort of thing. So he kind of did like that side venture with watches, and then he did like sunglasses, and he's a young entrepreneur essentially, right? And when the things didn't take off and he's still putting in all this work, running his business and doing the microphones, I'm assuming he's still doing the microphones, I kind of wondered when the watches would just dry off. Like, it's a bummer because they're phenomenal watches. But it is what it is. It's not Mr. Pelton. I don't know why he named it Pelton, but I was trying to think of his first name because I met him, but it was years ago. Yeah, CFC says, I've watched you for many years, Rob, and in my opinion, you never seemed as into a watch as you were into that Big Eye. I was surprised you sold it. I kind of was, Denny. Thank you, Jonathan. It is Denny. Oh, you've had his glasses. I've never tried them. Weeby, yeah, I'll put it on in a second. So back to CFZ. I, if I remember right, I don't remember exactly why I sold it. I think I sold the Big Eye because it was like, one, it was summertime and I wasn't wearing it, and I was only wearing it in the winter, fall and winter. Well, now here we are in the middle of winter and I'm kind of missing it. So, um, but I think I also used it to fund another watch purchase or something, or pay off debt. I can't remember, something like that. So, and I don't really have the fear of missing out on that one. Like, you can still buy that watch. It's not difficult to get it. Canadian says he thinks I sold the Big Eye to buy a Breitling. That could be. I could see rebuying it. Oh, what I started to say earlier is I would like to see Longines, as much as I liked that blue dial on that, I would like to see them use some sort of good green. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and Greg is sending me his stainless steel one, but I want the grade 5 titanium. Calico says I fell in love with the Neptune. No, that is not true. He's talking about the Neptune, the moon swatch. So I don't know what size this one is, but it definitely looks and wears like small on my wrist. I'm sure I can pull it off, but they have two different sizes. So, and I forget what they are. I think there's a 36 millimeter and then a 40. Is this the 40? So this is probably the larger of the two, and then they have a smaller one yet. So this is the bigger one of the top side. Yeah, Calico. Sure. Call it a green petrol. Use the grade 5 titanium. I'd be 100% on board with that. Anonymous Watch Guy says he's not buying any more watches this year. Let's see. What Scurfa got? Topside without diver bezel. Oh, it's topsider, not treasure seeker. I got the one with the dive bezel, and action is a bit flimsy. Like this one? This one's like mint. This action on it is like perfect. I don't think I've ever handled a Scurfa with bad bezel action. You might want to send that in for repair. And then even the titanium one, where the heck is it? How did I lose the watch? Oh, here it is. These bezel actions are even better. That's a really good bezel action for a titanium. I think I'm going to end up buying one of these like soon. Sapphire crystal, aluminum bezel insert. I love the aluminum. Full titanium taper to the bracelet on the titanium bracelet. Full titanium clasp, 3 micro adjust. Yeah, I would love to order one of these. I don't know if there any are available. Probably not, but he says not possible. So I'll have to wait for a restock like everyone else. But Paul says Trosca has the new GMT using the Miyota 9075. Super great price for a true GMT. Look cool. Is it already released? I'll have to check it out. It might be too small for me. My goal is to give all my guys some wrist time. Yes, that would be ideal. Let's see. Gfy says, I want a Vostok, but can't figure out what one to get or where to buy it. There was a website. I don't know if it's active anymore because of all the hoopla with Russia and everything, that I was ordering from. I don't think they were USA based. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows a good place to order Vostok. I can't remember the name of the website. Yeah, Marinam is where I was getting a Tennessee Mike. But I don't know if you can still order from them or what. And Anonymous Watch Guy says just Amazon, actually decent place to get Vostok. So maybe check Amazon or Marinam. Preferably not eBay. I don't hardly ever get them in here. I had one in here not that long ago. Dane, that's funny. I think a woman basketball player got to wear a Vostok. Yeah, standard prison issue. Sweet thing. Where do you guys like to sell your watches? Well, I sell them here every Sunday. Nick V says, want to buy Seiko Marine Master 300 automatic. Any recommendations where to buy? Please don't go to, no, Dane, it's never too soon. One of the good places to buy that I know a lot of people use is Gnomon watches. I personally don't want to do the Gnomon watches. Canadian Watch Monkey. Well, this actually I need to do the video on that soon and get it back. This is an auto or a manual wind Nezumi. So this is actually a mechanical one. This one I cannot sell. This one's theirs. Really nice bracelet. But I do have a quartz one, which will be on tour. So that one will be on tour and in my private Discord. Paul, do you sell the Astor Banks from Sunday? The Astor Banks is sold and shipped. It is gone. Great place to find watches other than flippers. Paradise is Watch You Seek forums. That's another good one. Dane Celine Driver points out Watch You Seek. And if you want to like broad search, because you can use another website called Watch Recon. So this is one I use every day. And if you didn't know about it, once you go try it, you're going to be hooked. It's called Watch Recon. So just WATCHRECON. And what it does is it searches Watch You Seek, it searches Reddit, and maybe a couple other places. So if you use Watch Recon, Kevin also typed it up there. Yeah, you'll get all that. The thing is, like, I'm not on Watch You Seek, but like I found a watch on there that I was interested in. I know I have another buddy that's on Watch You Seek. This is kind of a workaround. I'm like, hey, can you message them, let them know to contact me? Boom, boom, boom. It works. Same thing with Reddit. I've never bought or sold a watch off Reddit, but I've made contact with people through there. Yeah, watch buying can be difficult. When it comes to used watch buying, it can be pretty crazy. Let's see. My last 5 watches were found on Watch Recon, says Tim. That's good. Tennessee Mike says Watch Recon actually has an app. El Grego's here. Thanks for joining. Paul, the microbrand watch store is cool too. Great prices. Also keeping the time website. I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, I usually just type in Watch Recon. I didn't know they had an app. I should probably sign up for the app because then I bet you can say save searches and stuff. That'd be kind of convenient. Oh. Small divers, if anybody's looking for a small diver, Borealis still has their, I think these are 38 millimeter bull sharks. Good watches, good dive watches. There's a few left. I'll put that over here or something. Let's see, I've been looking for one of those Laurier Neptunes. I don't have a Laurier here either right now. Darren says he's picked up a couple at Whatnot. I've never used that either. Isn't that like a bidding thing, Whatnot is? I've heard people talk about it, but I've never even looked into it. Oh, man. Let's see. European Watch Company. Will Carey says, thought you might have sold Calico your Titan. No. No way. Yep, this guy right here. Yeah, I'm going to try to do my Sunday Fun Day because I think it helps out a lot of people. So I'll probably figure out a better system to work with that. But it's going to get weird because it's a benefit of being in the Discord, my private Discord group. So starting in 2023, so starting in January, any sort of Sunday Fun Day action, the founders only, the founder member group, which is quickly filling up, will have the early access to the Sunday Fun Day, and it'll be done differently too because it's done with like a drawing, so you don't have like that fear of missing out. You'll have a better chance of getting it, so you don't have to be like quick or something like a bot. So, um, but the real trick is going to be getting the watches right because it's not like these watches are just sent to me randomly. There's a lot of communication going on. Canadian Watch Monkey. Yeah, there's still some spots left for the Discord group. Not a lot, but there's some. But let's see. He says, Rob, is that the original Zodiac watermelon? No, isn't technically this the original watermelon? This is the titanium limited edition one, and then I mean, it doesn't matter. They don't make any of these anymore, but so I think this is what technically people are calling the watermelon, and then there's a smaller 40 millimeter version as well. But then this is the titanium one. So, but anyway, back to the Sunday Funday thing. The only way those work is people email me and they're like, "Hey, I want to sell these watches or whatever." So, um, we have a brief conversation, email back and forth, or whatever form of communication we're going to use, and then the watches get sent to me, and then I have to like inspect them, kind of like inventory them. Preferably, they're watches that I haven't done videos on, and I'd like to get some video content of them, and then they get sold. But if it's like the same watch over and over again, like if somebody keeps sending me like a Citizen like this, and I've already videoed it 5 times, um, when I go to sell it, like I can't just keep doing that for free. Like I have to kind of charge something. So, because normally I don't charge anything to facilitate the sale, and it does take me a lot of time. It takes a lot of packing material that I spend money on, and then I have to run them to the post office. I have to like do a lot of emails. Like there's a lot of logistics behind the scene. Paul Sanchez, RZE versus Notice. Who wins and why? I would pick Notice. RZE is right there with them, though. It's like they're a close second. Yeah, Canadian, and you get free poker chips. I'm going to probably run out of those too. I would pick Notice, but only because I think their watches are just a little, I don't want to say more dialed in because they're not necessarily dialed in, but their designs resonate with me better. But RZE resonates with me exactly with Deepan says is they're titanium, and oh, my pen is upstairs. I have one of their pens. I need to get another RZE. I've had them in the past and I've sold them, but now I wish I hadn't. And so I'm gonna get those back in the collection at some point. So they coexist. So it's not you you can't pit Notice against RZE, right? You have to kind of pit, like, for me personally, if I'm gonna look at them side by side, you have to pick one watch and one watch, not an entire brand against a brand. Because in one brand, you're gonna have a hodgepodge of like a hot mess and then standout ones for me that I recognize with more attributes that I prefer. So yeah, and then again, Greg made a good point. I know Wes and Cullen. I've met them multiple times. We've hung out, we've talked, we text occasionally. So I have like a little bit of a relationship with them. It's not like we're buddies or anything, but we're acquaintances at the very minimum. The same goes for RZE. I've talked to the owner many times, not as frequent as Wes and Cullen, but still really cool guy, great brand, great watches, great product, awesome pen by the way too that he gave me. So you could have that relationship often with these micro brands that is one thing that I consider as part of a hunt. When I talked about earlier about deep tracks, if you can establish some sort of form of communication, you got to understand these people are limited in time. We all are. So it's not like they can spend hours and hours and hours with one person if they're not getting anything right. So um, it's still ultimately they're running a business and they um, they have to sell products to stay in business. And then on top of that, they have limited amount of time. But developing those relationships and getting some fine tuning with your watch purchase, I think is important, and that's what makes buying micro brands so fun. And honestly, even as a consumer or a watch YouTuber, influencer, whatever you want to call it, it inspires me to see their enthusiasm for their brand and how hard they work into it. That's why I really, really enjoy showing all of these micro brands on the channel. Um, like Draken. I mean, this guy's a champ and he's doing some crazy awesome stuff. Formex, yeah, 100%. Jose, Formex. They're crushing it, and those guys are great. Their product is awesome. Um, so I get inspired when I have those conversations with people. The owner, I forget his name off the top of my head, but Folio, like the owner of this brand, super awesome guy to meet in person. I met him twice, both at the wind up shows. And yeah, it's just awesome to see what he's doing. It's awesome. Like, how can you not be inspired when you see that stuff and talk to those people? Will Carey, same thing. Traska. Um, Traska's awesome to deal with. Dane says Zelos. Now, I've chatted briefly with Elshin, just via text, but that guy, he's got to be running on 25 hours a day because of the amount of products he puts out and how diverse they are, and it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. 100%, Dane. If I would, I would love to meet Elshin in person, but I don't know how he does it. Mescal says, "Is Borealis any good?" I like Borealis. I don't like all of their watches, but again, I have a pretty well established relationship with Carlos, so you know, do a little bit of homework. Don't just listen to me because, like I said, I might be biased because I have like these relationships with these guys, and I already did two limited editions with Borealis. So, and I've been working with Carlos for, I don't know, 4 years or something, 4 or 5 years. So, yeah, I'm going to tell you they're good. Are they perfect or great watches? No, they have their flaws. But there's some really good standout models for sure. So, but do your homework. Don't listen to me on, you know, stuff like that. You still need to do your own homework. You can use me as one input, but you need to do your homework. Let's see, Zelos, Axios, their sister is good too. Do I have an Axios here? See, I need to get organized a little bit better, and that's why I need these watches like on a wall so I can easily just grab them when you guys mention something like that. I can just grab it and bring it up. I do have one Zelos here, but I'm not sure if I have an Axios. I think I have one that should be coming when the production model happens. I think that's what it is. The new NTH series of watches are great. I love the crown guards, the new crown. I mean, it's a total redesign almost. So they did a great job with these too. This one's a watch gauge exclusive, as is that Draken, I think, actually. The Bigger says he talked to the owner of Tissell a few years ago. Mr. O was very responsive and sent me extra links for free. Awesome. Yeah, Tissell is doing a pretty good job, I think. Is that Hamilton khaki field bronze on the desk? It is. It is. This is a bronze mechanical 38 millimeter, so you have to wind it. Was it like a H50 or H10? I can't remember the number of the movement. Nice leather NATO style on this. This bronze will patina up nicely. Titanium buckle and titanium case back, for the hypoallergenic ability of that product, of that material. Dale says, waiting on the Formex Essence 39 millimeter to come in. Can't wait. Yeah. Formex does a great job. Anonymous Watch Guy. We got to talk about this a second. Visitor Watch Company. There's another one. We're talking about deep tracks, right? Visitor Watch Company. If you don't know anything about them, go search it up on YouTube. There's a ton of videos on it. They're awesome. So he says he's met Phil a couple times. Really nice guy, very passionate about his watches. Does final quality control, check on everything, and ships himself. Also, he's very transparent. So even when you go to the visitor website, he spells out exactly where like basically all the components are coming from. So you got to understand they're like, and he 100% transparency tells you from what regions of the country that the parts are coming from, and then he presents you the watch. But when you look at the visitor watches, and some of his older ones that are discontinued are just insane, crazy, very cool looking watches. My favorite, the Dune Shore is really cool. I really do like that one. Perfect, like borderline wild card. But the what was my favorite one called? Shoot, I had it in the white dial. I regret selling that one. Like I want to buy one, but when I talked to him a few days ago, actually, I don't know if and when he's going to make them again. So now I'm reliant on the secondary market. So if I cannot remember what the heck that was. The Linden, the Visitor Linden. But he's got a storefront in Indiana, and like at some point I'll probably stop in there, but I don't know what he has. Oh, Anonymous says he's got a few in stock. Yeah, Kevin, the Linden white dial. I regret selling that watch. I almost never say that. You guys hear me? I almost never say that about selling a watch. I do regret selling the petroleum dial Big Eye, and I do regret selling the white dial Linden Visitor Linden. Those are the two off the top of my head that I can vividly think of. Kevin, yes, that was the other one I was going to think of. Is their Vale Park Officer? Isn't that the one where it has the, I forget what it's called, but you can flip the case back open and then you can see the movement. It's really cool. It's not, I mean, it's still a crystal there, but yeah, Visitor does a great job. See, Deepan says he's got to get back to work. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Watch meetup in Indiana soon. I might just drive down there. I legit actually looked up his address and searched it on the map to see how far it is, and it's about a 6.5 hour drive for me. So, Winding Crown says, and the Breitling Super Ocean white dial. What about that one? I still have that one. I didn't sell that one. I still have that one. And I have the white dial tag. And I have the white dial Zodiac. And the Dorenzo. And the Draken. I still have a few white dials. I'm not like full on white dial geek out mode like I was. I mean, technically I still have this guy, but the marketing company that works with Ward just texted me recently and asked me if I could ship these to him. So ship these back to him. So I guess I got to ship these back. I have a 2-minute warning. I don't own a Ward yet. I need to probably own a Christopher Ward at some point. Travis, you want to know what this is? This is an Azumi. Fun company. Most of their watches, they have a ton of different colorways, but most of them are going to be Mecha Quartz. Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. But this one's a mechanical. It's a hand wind chronograph. I don't know if I wound it enough. I did. Okay. So this one's really cool, but it's limited edition, and they're going to be kind of expensive. Tennessee Mike says he regrets selling his Christopher Ward Dartmouth. Yeah, but I mean, you can buy these again. So like the ones that, like for example, the ones that I really get bummed out about is like selling that white dial Visitor Linden, because go try to find one right now. You can't. There's none for sale. So that's what sucks, is when you sell a watch and then you're like, I want that back, and guess what? You can't get it back. Now, if I want the Big Eye petroleum dial, I can buy one of those tomorrow. No problem. I can just go buy one. So I like the weird stuff that you can't just go buy. And I think that's what kind of like gets me fired up, is the weird stuff. The weird stuff, not weird for the sake of being weird, but the stuff that, like, if you sell it today, that tomorrow you're gonna have a hard time getting it, that's the watch that I want. That's the watch that I like. The stuff that is hard to get, even if it's an affordable watch. All right, let's kill the light, check the lume on some of this. I think we have some full lume dials. We have a Zodiac on the table, so that's going to be ridiculous. We have full lume Citizen. We have the full lume. Look at this 960. I got to look more into this brand. This thing is funky. Yeah, Tim, I would love to have it. I had the opportunity to actually buy that watch when I was at Windup, and I didn't. But I mean, it's $3,500. Like I don't. So full lume dial. Get this. So we have the Draken full lume dial. We have the Citizen full lume dial. I'm not going to be able to open this up. So we have full lume dial here. The Signum has actually full lume dial, but in orange. So we can do full lume dial. This one's BGW9. This one's going to be some sort of C3 or whatever. And then this one's some sort of orange lume. And then we have the 960 too. We have that guy too. I love full lume dial too. I think I just love watches. I think I figured out what I actually love. I think I just love watches. Thanks for helping me get through that. That never really dawned on me until just now. Oh yeah, and my Zodiac is a full lume dial too. All right. I'm gonna go look for some more watches. I think I'm gonna go try to find that Visitor Linden white dial. Thanks for watching, guys.